8 years later, having taken a hiatus. Would your 398 still be valid? Your department will have to decide that. If your department decides it is, we would count it. But if the department says you would need to retake it, then we would also require, well, it would be the same course, which you would take it once again for us. Yeah. That's a fairly extreme example. Yeah. Yes, please.
I have a question that's related to what Carl was saying about
Yes.
the kind of the divide.
Yes.
I'm wondering, because this is at the end of the day a portfolio that's much easier for linguistics students to achieve. Is there, this is not really relevant to me, but out of curiosity and just interest in that divide, is there going to be kind of like encouragement for the lit professors to teach these like to have pedagogy components to their courses that would count for this, or is this portfolio really heavily linguistically focused? Because also at the end of the day, I'm thinking about in terms of when we go out and teach, I feel like most of, well, maybe not, I don't know what happens with linguistic students, even though I only hang out with linguistic students, I should ask them more questions. But for me, if theoretically I got a job in academia, then I would end up teaching literature courses. So I don't know, I'm just wondering if there's going to be some kind of like...
So in my ideal world, the world that I have to tell myself really does exist or I couldn't do the job I'm doing, literature teachers, and I'm thinking the one I know closest is my wife, do teach pedagogy courses, applied literature. It's not, she doesn't teach it often, but she does. I actually teach applied literature when I was doing it just in Slavic, and now I do one that I do as a general course. Applied literature would fit into the kind of LTC rubric that we've got that's just open. So this is I won't say it's even a relatively new area, it's just simply a different way of looking at a more general course on how to teach literature that's involving teaching literature as both a subject and object of instruction, rather than the very more narrowly defined lit theory, lit crit way. And a number of, yeah, exactly, is moving into Carl's idea of multiliteracies very tightly. Now, to say, will everyone who's teaching literature suddenly say, well, now that you've got this, I'll start teaching applied literature or teaching a course on pedagogy? And I don't know that. I would like to see, it would be great if, from maybe some demand from students saying, wouldn't it be good to get a literature course that could count toward this? It's doable. It is certainly doable. We tend still, even with our most innovative programs here at UT in language teaching, use literature a great deal to the end of getting language proficiency, language and culture proficiency. Of course we're going to still do that. If we can get that link made clear, if you present us with a syllabus that shows that link, we would count the course. I would really like to see, precisely for the reasons that the two of you have mentioned, that concentrators see the benefit of doing the work for this, because you were probably the main target when we designed it, not a linguist actually. Was getting lit people certified to be able to do what the job market tends to tell you you're going to do. So yes, you're going to come in and teach a course on Balzac, and yes, you're going to be teaching medieval French, whatever, but we need you to coordinate our French program as well. That just tends to be the way the market is moving, at least in the last 8-10 years. Yeah.
So maybe we could get more buy-in, because that's really the question.
Yes.
About how to get buy-in across the board, not just from one silo or the other, but all the different silos that exist in a language department. That the whole point is to give people more marketability,
Yes.
and that's as much for literature students as it is for linguistics. But that's, I mean, people will nod, as you know, in faculty meetings, yes, that sounds like a great idea, but then it's changing the curriculum.
Yes.
Which is really hard to do. So we've been having, in our department, lots and lots of discussions about how to do that, but it's all been theoretical. It hasn't really been, people haven't students are still going back to their receipt categories of what the curriculum is.
I think what you're
To the
describing
18th
is,
century, blah, blah, blah.
I think what you're describing is college-wide, and I'm
Well, I think it's in our profession.
Oh, profession.
I think the profession is.
I think the reason I said
very important.
college-wide is because until we get a new dean in place, none of us seem are prepared to take steps toward any kind of curricular reform until we know how it's going to be received.
Right.
I think even improving portfolios was, this year was being looked at as, because that was in OGS,
Right.
was as safe. But anything being done in liberal arts is kind of being viewed as, well, you know, we're in a lame duck period right now, let's wait and see. Which is a bit unnerving when you're trying to do things that are affecting cohorts that are here now, and in fact toward the end of their coursework, not coursework, but of program work. Because I'm with you, I completely agree with you, it needs to be, short of a full sea change, a fairly marked change in curriculum that would have to take place. And among our favorite crew, right, the ones who are doing literature studies, literary studies in our language programs. So buy-in, I'm going to turn to my colleague Orlando there, who's about as good as it gets in terms of getting departments that won't buy into buy-ins, that you've got a flagship program in a department that would never have imagined they're agreeing to it and ultimately did.
You know, nobody feels comfortable being put in a situation where you don't feel like you know what you're doing.
Yep.
And that's really what we're talking about. We live in a world where people have an expertise which is very narrow, and we're asking people to do something outside of that expertise. You know, we get it from our end when we ask somebody to teach a language for professional purposes.
Sure.
And they go, I know nothing about medical Spanish. I know nothing about business Spanish. You just don't feel comfortable with what's not your area of the world.
Yeah.
Part of this for me is a generational thing too, that the generation we see of graduate students now will have a different mindset when they are in this exact position a few years from now. And I think that's really where the future of it's going to be, more than changing the mindset of asking somebody to do something they're uncomfortable with now after 20, 30 years of doing what they're doing. That's not the person.
To change what they're doing, right, right.
But you see an openness to it among young graduate students today, knowing that the traditional market of how things were done isn't going to work 20 years from now.
Absolutely right.
I really see an openness to it. There wasn't before.
From your lips, let's hope.
I mean, I do too. I don't want to be negative. I think we need to push from the top, and also the grassroots, the students themselves have to push and demand it. We have faculty, literature faculty who are good teachers,
Sure.
and I think could easily massage their course and add components to it that would fit with this
Would
profile.
fit this and would actually benefit what they're doing in the lit course, and especially the students that they're teaching. I couldn't agree more. But getting them to do
I mean,
that.
the problem is right now the students, like Sarah, know, there's a cohort that are caught in the kind of changing of the gears and things that change really rapidly in the marketplace, and so we still have this kind of outdated curriculum.
I agree.
But you see, I'm totally hopeful too. Just look at the Spanish department. We currently are in discussions of increasing the amount of sections of medical Spanish and business Spanish we want to offer this semester,
It's astonishing.
because the students are registering for those classes
Right.
in gigantic numbers as compared to the courses that we used to teach. It wasn't even 5 years ago that we would never consider teaching more sections of that type of a class. So it really is a different atmosphere.
You've also hit on, I think, one of the reasons we stuck with this for nearly 5 years to push through was the if you build it, they will come mentality, honestly, was by getting enough, thanks all, thank you very much, getting enough grad students as a cohort who were interested in doing a portfolio might be, talking about leverage, Jeanette earlier, might be the leverage faculty in lit courses would need to say, you know, there's more interest in this than I thought there would be among our lit students. And indeed, I think we may do
I
find.
also think that if the demand in society is real,
Mhm.
then somebody's got to meet that demand.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about is an actual demand in society. People will be trained in certain areas to be able to do these sort of things when they take on these kind of positions.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's not like we're trying to create something that doesn't have a real demand. If the demand were real, this would just fall apart and we would never go anywhere. But
I think-
because
I
the
think it
demand
makes
is
that
real,
demand-
somebody keeps pushing it. to keep
Yeah, and I think something like the portfolio that gets warm bodies to sign up makes that demand more palpable than to say, but it's out there. We know there's a demand. We know that we need more language specialists who can do these kinds of things that we're asking them to do for them. In this case, portfolio could just be in our coursework, but that having actually, well, look, we've got this many students wanting to get a portfolio in language teaching and pedagogy who are in a department that doesn't have the courses they need. Could we do that? Could we offer those courses? Could we, as Carl's term, massage the course and get it to work? Yeah? I want to hear. I want to hear. What? June?
Oh, that's just one of us.
Okay, but he's fine.
I feel better now. Any other comments, questions? Things you disagree with, push back? Yes, please.
So we've done the teaching practicum
Yes.
in the department as well. Does it have anything to do in terms of, I don't know, does it go along with the same lines that, with the courses that are going to be offered?
So that would be something the department I would love to be able then to have the department or the student, having done it, petition the advisory committee to say, in our practicum, we had to present our work. Or I will present my work in the practicum. Would that fulfill the presentation requirement? Again, I know what I would more or less immediately say, but I really want there to be buy-in from all the departments represented on the advisory committee. But that would be exactly the kind of question we want brought in. And we were told when we were going through the approval process, told that these kinds of questions about equivalencies and being grandfathered into the program or out of the program were very common for all the portfolios. So we're just girding our loins. We're ready to take them on, bring in all the questions, and let's just see what the advisory committee says. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Are we good?
Good.
Seriously? Well, thank you all so much. As we roll toward soon to be Thanksgiving, I guess it's going to be soon. Good luck, I know. Good luck everyone in finishing up the semester, whether you're giving the courses, taking the courses, doing both of those for us. Thank you all so much for the support of the Texas Language Center, of Coral, and the other language-related centers on campus. Have a terrific end of term this year. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.